Meanwhile, the European Union is retaliating with its own countermeasures against the United States. It comes as a French business association's warning of a potential recession there as well. Foreign correspondent Tom Soufi-Burridge is in Paris with more. Tom, what's the latest on the response from the EU?
Yeah, this is the first announcement from the EU in response to new US tariffs, Diane. So the EU is now putting tariffs on about $24 billion worth of US exports, so imports into the EU. It's tariffs of between 10 and 25% that the EU is slapping on a range of American products, anything from poultry to some agricultural produce, tobacco, motorcycles, including Harley-Davidsons. And look, the EU continues, and European leaders back this line up, that they say tariffs is the wrong option. They don't want to put tariffs on. They want to negotiate. They keep saying that they did not start this trade war with the United States, but this is the first round of measures taken by the European Union. Diane?
Tom, these countermeasures are coming in retaliation for the steel and aluminum tariffs the U.S. imposed, not that 20% blanket tariff on the EU. France is calling for a gradual and vigorous response to that now. So what are the next steps here?
Yeah, so these initial tariffs announced just now by the European Union, they'll take effect next Tuesday on the 15th of April. The European Union separately, as you say, is also working on a second phase of countermeasures to that 20% tariff on virtually all other imports into the United States from the EU. So the EU isn't done yet. Now, what you've got to realize is the European Union is a 27-nation bloc. So, European leaders are still emphasizing that unity is key, that they must rally around a single message, a single response. And I think in a way they're in a difficult position, the European Union. They don't want to compound the damage and the pain suffered by European businesses because the US market is so key for so many European businesses in the trade of goods. So they want to go for this kind of gradual response, measured response. These are the kind of watchwords that we're hearing from European officials all the time at the moment. I just want to, just give people a sense of the negotiation right now. The European Union had said to the Trump administration they'd offered them weeks ago, according to officials, 0 for 0 tariffs. So basically getting rid of pretty much all tariffs on all goods, either way, between the US and the European Union. President Trump yesterday basically rejected that offer, and he then said that he wanted to see the EU buy $350 billion worth of American liquefied natural gas. Now, the EU responded to that and said they'll look at that kind of option, but this gives you a sense of how complicated each individual negotiation the US is now conducting with every trading bloc, which, effectively is in a trade war with the United States. Diane?
All right, foreign correspondent Tom Soufi-Burridge in Paris, thank you.